Okay, so in this video we'll focus mainly on problems regarding limiting reagents. So first of all, we need to understand what they mean when they say a limiting reagent. So a limiting reagent, you can just say, is something which is limited, something which will just finish off first in a chemical reaction. So if I have A and B reacting to form AB, suppose they tell me that A is a limiting reagent, what they actually mean is that A will finish off first in the chemical reaction. So if A finishes off, it means that the reaction now will stop taking place because one of the reactants has been used up. So a limiting reagent is just a substance which is in less amount, and it will determine the amount of products formed. It will also tell you the extent of the reaction, because if A and B are reacting to form AB, once A is used up, it means that the reaction will come to a stop. So therefore we can conclude and say the limiting reagent A will determine how far the reaction will proceed. So that is just what you need to know about a limiting reagent. So in this video, we'll mainly focus on problems. We'll be solving chemical equations on limiting reagents. So let's have this problem. We have been told that this problem on limiting reagents, we are given that 2.4 grams of magnesium reacts with 0.4 moles of hydrochloric acid. Determine, number one, we need to determine the limiting reagent. Number two, we need to find the mass of the substance in excess. So just like what I said earlier, I said if you have two reactants reacting together to form a certain product, that substance which will be used up first in a chemical reaction is a limiting reagent. So here what they are trying to ask us is determine which substance is used up first in a chemical reaction. Then suppose you have A and B, let me just use A and B, forming AB. A, let's call this our limiting reactant. If A and B react to form AB, and A is our limiting reactant, it denotes that A will finish off first in the chemical reaction. Then B will remain in excess. It's more like we have sufficient amount of B. It's more than enough. So a substance which is in excess is that substance where it's more than enough, in other words. So the limiting reagent and the mass of the substance in excess. So for you to solve this question, first of all, you need to write a correct balanced chemical equation. We know that you have magnesium reacting with hydrochloric acid. We know that when the two react, I don't have enough space here. When the two react, we have a metal reacting with an acid. When a metal reacts with an acid, it will form a hydrogen gas and a salt. So a salt will be magnesium chloride, just from the definition of a salt. Magnesium chloride, so this is how we write magnesium chloride. Then plus hydrogen gas, like that. So first of all, you need to balance this chemical equation and get sense from what you balance. So you have two hydrogen atoms, meaning I need a 2 here. Let me just, you need a 2 here. Then 2 chlorine atoms, 2 hydrogen atoms, so our equation is now balanced. So from our equation, first of all, you need to get sense from it. It's shown that when I use one more, there's a 1 here, there's a 2, there's a 1, there's a 1. When I use one more of magnesium, I only require 2 moles of hydrochloric acid. So from our equation, when you use 1 mole of magnesium, you only need 2 moles of hydrochloric acid to produce 1 mole of magnesium chloride and 1 mole of hydrogen gas. So first of all, we've been given the mass to say the mass for magnesium 2.4 grams. So how many moles of magnesium were used in this reaction? I will say number of moles. Let me just say number of moles like that is equal to the mass given 2.4 grams over the AR of magnesium, which is basically 24 gram per mole. So when I divide, I'll get 0.1 mole, 0.1 moles. So in short, in this chemical reaction, I used 0.1 moles of magnesium. These were the number of moles of magnesium which were used. So if you use 0.1 moles of magnesium, how many moles of hydrochloric acid do you need? Remember that when you use 1 mole, you only need 2 moles of hydrochloric acid. What if you use 0.1 moles of magnesium? How many moles do you need here? Let me say x. When you cross multiply, 1 times x is x, 0.1 times 2, that is 0.2 moles. So from here we can say if I use 0.1 moles of magnesium, I only need 0.2 moles of hydrochloric acid. But take note that the number of moles of hydrochloric acid which were provided were 0.4 moles. So out of this 0.4 moles, only 0.2 is needed. What does that indicate? It indicates that from the 0.4, I can subtract my 0.2, and I'm sure it will still give me 0.2 moles. So out of the 0.4, the total number of moles, only 0.2 moles reacts. Therefore, the other 0.2 remains in excess. So we can conclude again and say magnesium is a limiting reagent here because it has fewer number of moles, So magnesium here is the next thing we need to do is to find the mass of the substance in excess. So first of all, since we know that this guy is a limiting reagent, and this here is our substance which is in excess. It is in excess because not all the 0.4 moles which were provided will react. Out of the 0.4, only the 0.2 moles will react. Then the other 0.2 moles will be left in excess. So the question now is to find the mass, of the substance in excess. In fact, the question has to be find the mass of the substance in excess. So you need to find the mass in excess. Find the mass in excess for the substance which is in excess. So mass, we need to find the mass which is in excess. What you know is that the number of moles in excess are 0.2 moles. And you also know that number of moles is equal to the mass given over the molar mass. Okay, so how many moles are in excess? It has been shown that 0.2 moles of that substance which is in excess are in excess. So we need to convert the 0.2 moles into the mass. So we'll say we're finding the mass over the molar mass of our substance which is in excess. Hydrochloric acid is the substance in excess. So you need to find the molar mass. So you say here there's a 1, you have 35.5. So it will be 1 times 1, which is 1, plus 1 times 35.5. So this will give you 36.5 grams per mole. This is the molar mass of hydrochloric acid. So 0.2 moles equals the mass over 36.5 grams per mole. Pause. Okay. So 0.2 equals mass over this. When you multiply, you get 7.3 grams of